My original digital artifact idea was centered around the evolution of board games and focusing on the digital versus analog versions and their gameplay experience and just how the two worlds collided. Analysing board games that have made into digital apps, online programs, or even computer software. I originally planned on producing 2 to 3 podcasts as a mini-series, one being an intro into the topic and the other 2 focusing on each of the digital and analog versions of Monopoly and Cluedo, 2 of my all-time favourite games and a huge household name in many households. To test my idea, I took to Reddit for some feedback. I posted in the board game thread, and a few things became very clear very quickly. Number 1, Reddit gaming community can sniff out a rookie like a needle in a haystack. 2, the Reddit users don't hold back. 3, I started to doubt my original idea and concept because of these comments that I was receiving. 4, judging by the various comments, I did spark some interest in the Reddit community, meaning there is an audience there, but not particularly in the chosen board games or the particular medium I was aiming for. If I was going to do board games, I needed to go for a less cliche game, but as a rookie, I didn't really have any knowledge of anything else apart from your basic childhood board games. My iteration process actually convinced me that it wasn't something I was ready to explore, but I'm deciding to soldier on and give it a red hot crack to teach myself something new. However, instead of a podcast like my original pitch stated, I decided to do a blog. That way information could be presented visually, and seeming as board games have a visual aspect, it just naturally made more sense. I could go into more depth in the board games, and I can add visuals to make it more appealing to create audience retention. My blogs will attempt to offer research and further analysis and provide a thorough content analysis by looking into the frequency of the way things are designed in board games. For example, your frequency of nostalgia that's being felt. My aim is to still create a conversation on board games and whether we still gravitate towards physical board games despite several technological advances. This time around, completing 3 blog posts similar to the podcast concept, with 1 introduction post, 1 focusing on Monopoly, and 1 focusing on Cluedo, while both focusing on the digital versus analog versions of the game and the ethnographic experience that I experienced whilst playing with my friends and family. The utility of a blog post will allow me to display tables for comparison, making listing things like pros and cons for each game much easier, not only for myself but for my audience. And to create feedback, I will try Reddit once again, this time with a bit more of a more calculated approach and with a more specific idea in mind. Moving forward, I just want to focus on getting my blogs up and ready to really create some feedback.